You're watching Plus TV Africa, where the big stories live, and this is Tea Time, which brings you all of the hottest entertainment stories. I'm talking about Tyro, together with my co-anchors, with forever differing views, like Banjo and Ife Oshunkeye. Hello, you two.
Hello.
And why are you laughing? Isn't it true?
Why are you trying to get a mini god right now, saying the forever? What told you?
Forever. It's like,
no,
because like you guys argue back and forth.
To be fair, yeah, which is true.
Thank you very much. At least
I
you
was just
accept.
about to say, this morning,
yes,
we did conclude.
What, you did agree?
We did.
Good heavens.
We agreed on, what was it? What was the story we were talking about?
On all the stories.
Yes.
On all the stories.
Let's disappoint.
But I give you 2 minutes.
What, right now?
Yes.
Before we disagree?
Yes.
To be fair, 2 minutes is enough for us.
It's enough. Or it's way too long, actually.
I think it's way too long.
It's too long.
It's too long.
I'm beginning to disagree with the way you're looking at me.
Oh, Lord Almighty. All right, so what's new this afternoon?
Not much, really.
Not much?
I
Okay.
mean, what have you done?
What have I done?
Yeah, like, I mean, have you done anything?
He's been busy. He's been all over the place. I've seen him, you know, here and there. I don't know what he's up
I've been speaking
to.
to quite a few people this afternoon, and that's what I've really been doing this afternoon, other than working as well.
Well, I think since we're talking about the GQ, we spoke about the GQ earlier this morning, and Naomi Campbell and Whiskey.
Yeah, and you found more information.
Hemsworth and Chadwick Boseman also got awards.
Which Hemsworth? Chris
Or William?
Hemsworth, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So on today's episode, we've got scoop on BB Niger's T-Boss, and we also have a studio guest that will be telling you all about her much later on in the show. But for now, let's quickly bring you our first story, which is, as mentioned earlier, is on BB Niger's T-Boss, who sternly warns all feminists to leave God out of feminism. Whoa.
Yes, girl, yes!
Go on. No, go for it. I'm going to let Ife talk on this.
Okay, so on this one, T-Boss, I totally agree, and I think this came off the back of what's her name was, Eniola H, the girl.
Who? Eniola who?
Yeah, I call her Eniola H. I can't pronounce that one.
It's Hugh. Can't you say Hugh? Good heavens.
Is it by force?
It's by force. If you're calling her name, call her by all the name. You say T-Boss, so why are you not saying Tokumbo Boss? Her name is Tokumbo.
Her name is Tokumbo. Oh, your namesake.
Now you just want us to know that. Oh, yeah, we know. Now we know. Are you happy?
Oh Lord, these guys crack me up every day.
Okay, so I think it's off the back of what she was saying that she takes some things out of the Bible, and that the Bible says you should be submissive, and then you keep saying something that submission is totally different from suppression. Or was that what you say?
I mean, it's not what I say, it's what's true. Do you not agree?
No, I totally agree.
Okay.
So I think it's off the back of that, and that's why she has decided to say, okay, separate feminism from religion. Do you understand? And then I did some extra digging, and then I discovered that some women will not be able to separate religion and feminism, because there are 3 types of feminism. There's liberal feminism, there's social feminism, and then that's what's it called?
Intersectional. No,
not intersectional. Liberal, social, and when I remember, I'll let you guys know. Back to what I was saying.
Good Wikipedia search there. Well done.
Did you see how he blushed there? Because he pulled it right out of the bag. Anyway.
Okay. So liberal, social, radical. Thank you.
And your feminism is radical, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Lakwe is a radical feminist.
Absolutely, you're incorrect on every single level. But go on.
Okay. Well,
ouch.
I just feel you act like a radical.
No, that's your opinion. But go on.
Yeah, it's my opinion. I mean,
okay, as I say,
it's not true though.
See, we're beginning to disagree. Why you giving
I told you it wasn't gonna last 2 minutes.
Why you giving this guy the pleasure?
Go on.
Okay, so I think it's going to be difficult for some feminists to take that out, because the Bible clearly states that, okay, women, be submissive to your husband. Yes, I know it's not right.
You need to finish the end of that. As Christ is submissive to God, men submit to God as well.
Yeah, so we all submit to somebody.
Yeah, we all submit to someone.
You are a feminist to the letter. Good heavens.
And like I have always said on the show, look, ladies and gentlemen, I am a feminist. I believe in equality of the sexes. Why are you laughing? Like you don't believe?
It's so
you don't believe it. I believe in equality of the sexes. I believe in social, political.
What? Equality.
You've really done your research, haven't you?
Look,
goodness, well done. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. You're always proud of me.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, man.
You've done your research. Wikipedia is really good. It is a really good
so you're
source.
trying to say I'm not that smart? Wikipedia.
No, I'm saying that.
Are you trying to
I'm saying
me on the show
no.
on national TV? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, I'm just saying you've gone from saying some X to saying Y now, which is good.
No. The last time I told you that I have become a feminist, and I believe in equality of the sexes.
So where do you think you actually stand in terms of your three radical or your three types of feminism?
I would say
radical?
I'm a liberal feminist.
I think you are. You're very open, aren't you?
Yeah.
So you're probably
I'm a liberal feminist.
Okay.
So I think that's what this is. And back to T-Boss. She said in the Bible, God said, I am God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Not God the Mother, the Daughter, and the Holy Spirit, which I totally agree with. So following that, I think there should be a way we separate feminism from religion, if it is ever possible for some feminists. I don't know about you, Lak, but do you think it's a possibility?
It's a possibility that what?
That we separate religion from feminism.
Well, look, this is my take on it, right? I have my opinions on feminism. I have my opinions on equality. And yes, I would consider myself a feminist, even though that's not a bad thing and it seems to be a label here. But anyway, I think...
I have a question after this.
Yeah, sure, okay. I think my standpoint on this whole debate is, because she's not the only one that said something about it. Somebody else also said, you can't be a feminist and you can't be a Christian, a popular lawyer. I can't remember what her name is. But people have said a lot, they've given their views on it. And now here's my view. I believe that religion is something that's been around for a very, very long time. And religion is something that is constant in a lot of people's lives. And I believe in both Islam and Christianity that there isn't really a space. I mean, it doesn't really speak of feminism because it's not something that existed at the time. I mean, there were traditions and there were rules that were set, and that's how people lived. And people still live their lives according by those rules even now. So I think the whole idea of feminism is an enlightenment thing, and it's also an elitist, well, to a degree. Yeah, to a degree, yeah. To a degree, it's an elitist thing. And I think that based on that reason, that sometimes...
Then feminism is prejudiced.
Well, yeah, I mean, people argue that it is prejudiced, but I think that the bottom line is I think that there isn't really enough in religion on feminism. So, I mean, I'm a feminist, but I'm also a Christian. Like, I don't put the two together. Like, I don't feel like you can be one or the other, or you can't be both.
I think you can put there are a lot of scenarios in the Bible where women were made to subject to men.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. There's not really room. The Bible doesn't really speak a lot on feminism. And a lot of feminists will say, they'll come for me and say that, well, Proverbs 31 is an ideal, a feminist woman. But really, if we go into that, she's not. But
what the Bible promotes is submission, as opposed to, what was it? The
subservice.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, the Bible promotes submission, but the Bible also says that everybody at some point is submitting. Love, harmony, that kind of thing. But in terms of, economic and social equality. I mean, women in the Bible weren't working, women were giving, I mean, so I was reading a funny
leaders.
Exactly. I mean, other than Queen Esther and a few others. But
okay, so
my point is that I saw a meme the other day that even in the Bible that women used to give their husbands side chicks and stuff, but like now women don't do that anymore and stuff like that. So I mean, things have definitely changed now, but we're in a different time, and I think that it's not as applicable. But I don't think that's to say that you can't be feminist.
But the only time where they give side chicks is when they can't have a baby.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually a means to an end.
And, all right.
Then in that case, I won't be. No, I can't say something. I would have said I would have loved to be getting side chicks, because in that case I won't just be.
No, your next question.
Adult, you understand what I mean, right?
Your next.
Okay, so this was what
you sound like a school teacher.
So this was what I was going to ask you. If your first day on this job, you walked into the office, and then as you were making your way into the newsroom, you saw a sticker on the door that says, "Only men work here."
Yeah.
How would you feel?
Well, I feel like it's not an organisation for me, clearly, because I'm
So what would you ask your boss?
I wouldn't be asking him anything, because I wouldn't be allowed to walk through the door, would I? I mean, only men work here.
You see what I'm saying? That's the feminist mentality.
Oh, come on, don't be ridiculous.
Only men.
You said, what would you say to my boss? I wouldn't get a job there.
And so you believe only...
There.
No, that's not what it means. I think that's metaphorical. Because men are known to be the ones that really do the hard work, that really do a lot of work, that actually do get a lot of stuff done. So when someone puts something like only men work here, they're only trying to tell you that only hard-working people, only people who can do the job.
Well, you can't use men to generalize both sexes.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying that is a feminist view. That's why I said I was going to ask Lakwe, because if I was a woman and I saw that, I would be offended, and that would make me a feminist. So and then your boss should now ask you,
no,
are you a feminist?
Listen,
wait, you're not even letting you guys. You guys are not even going to let me.
I get the point.
Come on, man.
Hang on, I get the point, but I feel like the delivery.
You guys are making me feel like AOBO right now. Like I'll never land.
Sorry, but like I'm not gonna like. Wow, that was such a late delivery. Anyway, I feel like this analogy, even though I get where you're going, I just don't really think it works because in the sense... No, wait, hang on.
Guys, we haven't got long. We need to round up.
Yeah, sure, quickly. Just because if a signboard, I walk into a building and the signboard says, only men work here, and you say, what would I say to my boss? That insinuates I've been employed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but you didn't mention that because if
I said the first day you got a job, were you listening to me?
Right, don't pipe down. It's all right. Stop being an aggressive man, okay?
Oh, stop.
now, okay, so if that was, what would I say to my boss? I would obviously question why that is, but then even that explanation is not good enough.
All right, guys, we're going to leave it there because it's time for a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to be introducing our studio guest.
I actually moved back to Nigeria to open a bakery. This was my goal. And everything I did up till this point was in preparation for this. First of all, life was great because I moved in 2015 right before the recession, right? It was awesome. I was like, wow, there's so much money out here, man. The cost of overheads, power generation, water, you have to be your own local government. And there are no tax breaks. Many places where, where they realize the small business environment is difficult would offer some kind of tax breaks and incentives. We don't do that out here. We want you to come back. We want you to, to start businesses here, but we're not going to do anything to help you. All my experiences in the past have led me ultimately to where I am now.
Welcome back. You're watching Tea Time on Plus TV Africa, and we're about to introduce our studio guest. She's a costume designer cum creative director for film and television. She's also a style consultant and has styled big celebrity Nollywood stars. She's a CEO of Pride and Purple, Africa's premium online fashion retail store, and creative lead for her brand. Allow me to introduce the eminent, the enchanting, and the enterprising Eno Jerry.
Wow. I love your alliteration. That was really good alliteration.
Can I do my own introduction?
I want to be me when I grow up.
You want to be you when you grow up? It's like you weren't expecting that, were you?
Can I do my own introduction?
Please.
Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to introduce to you Eno the Bad Girls. Eno the Bad Girls in building.
Sorry. She left you hanging. I'm like,
she's feeling herself.
I was feeling
So you've got 2 introductions now.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's the first time ever, so you must be really interested.
You haven't been an introduction, so
I know, it's true. Well, I mean, guys, so in the studio...
No, I'm Thank you for having me. It's so cool to be here.
Okay, so before we really delve into some of the questions that we want to ask you, because I saw some of your reactions when we were talking about T-Boss and feminism and all of this stuff. So let me quickly gauge your reaction and get you to, air your views regarding that story. But I don't want us to dwell too much on it because we haven't got much time. We have a lot of questions we want to ask you. So just touch on T-Boss and feminism.
I mean, look, I am a proud feminist any day. Any
Exactly.
I'm a liberal feminist.
You don't count. You don't count. Listen, I believe in the social, political, and economic equality of the sexes. Like, a man is not better than a woman.
Never.
You are not stronger than a woman.
True.
Women and men, even though we are biologically different, but we are human beings at the end of the day. So if a man has a right to run for public office, a woman has the right to run for public office too. So it doesn't make it any, it doesn't make any less, but because a man is running, a woman can't run. So I feel like, listen, the level playing field should be
the same
for everyone, both man and woman. And this whole side chick thing that you all talked about, really in the Bible that happened 2 or 3 times. But you see men these days tell you, Sarah gave Abraham a side chick, so you should let me sleep around. No. No.
Absolutely.
Okay, so back to you now. Thank you very much for airing your views on that. Let's talk about you now, because I understand that there's an event taking place this weekend. Let's talk about that before we talk about you personally.
Yes, so I curate a networking motivational event called Intimate with Eno Jerry. Basically, I bring different people from around the globe in different industries to come and talk about different topics pertaining to that industry. So
sorry to cut in, but how did you come about with intimate, and why intimate? Because it suggests something else. Are you blushing?
Pun intended. So basically, I was sitting at home one time.
Did you also mean PORN?
No, pun. As in P-E-N.
I hate him so much. I do.
Yeah,
so basically, I was sitting at home. I was thinking, what am I going to do with my life? You know, I had just recently lost a job. And I thought to myself, listen, I've been in the industry for about 6 to 7 years. And I know a couple of influential people. How about we bring these people to come and relate and speak to the regular folks on the streets, the people that look up to them. So how about we create an intimate lunch gathering setting where we can bring these people to come and interact with them, network for the regular folks, and then give them a chance to ask these guys questions about different things but pertaining to different industries. So we had a first edition May of this year actually, and we were targeting the fashion industry. We brought the likes of Noble Igwe, Jane Michael, Ivan Michael to come and talk about the issues in the fashion industry and to give fashion entrepreneurs, SMEs, a chance to meet with these guys, dine with them, and talk to them and ask them questions. So this time around, our second edition, because the idea is to have this event 3 times a year. So we're having like our second edition this month. It's actually supposed to be this month, but we might be moving it to like sometime in October. So the date is still pending, but we'll let you know by then. So basically, for this edition, we are targeting social issues. So the topic is taking a stand. So, I mean, like, there's so many social issues that we are not talking enough about. But like mental illness for one, human trafficking, domestic violence, the killings in the north, like there's a whole lot happening. So I'm bringing in celebrities and public figures that are actually actively doing something about these different topics to come and give them a platform to speak and then also to relate with their fans and their followers on the issues in question.
So who are the people that are going to be talking?
So hopefully we have the likes of MI is going to be on board with us. Yes, so that's awesome. So we have like Paul Okono is a celebrity photographer, and he is actively doing something called the 300 Projects. So he's actively doing something about the human trafficking in the world. So we have him coming on board. We have a dear friend of mine, Kumi Odufoye. We're actually producing a movie together on mental illness. So we have, hopefully they have the likes of Val, the bad guy, hoping to come on board.
I'm glad you brought...
Ife, sorry, I know you have questions and questions you want to ask, but we will do that right after this break. But still to come, we've got some interesting conversations with our studio guest, Eno Jerry. We'll be right back.
Who am I to query God?
I'm like, after everything I've done.
Most of us are fighting for our personal interests.
Fire started exactly 10:30.
I wasn't a DJ, I'd be in construction, a mechanic.
I have several children.
If entertainment is going to be our second biggest export in the country now, we do need to invest properly in structure.
I don't know where we're heading. Then I'm reminded that Nigeria has been close to the brink on so many other occasions, and God has been merciful to pull us back from that brink and save this country. It's a big one, just...
Welcome back. It's still tea time right here on Plus TV Africa, and we're swiftly moving on with our conversations with Eno Jerry. So, Ife, you had a question that you were going to ask her.
Yeah. While you were speaking, I can help, and while I was reading up about taking a stand, I discovered that one of the, at least the one who caught my attention the most was the mental illness part. Because these days it happens a lot of celebrities have committed suicide. Even in Nigeria, we have the likes of Victor, who dropped a suicidal note on his Snapchat recently. Now people are worried about Ari Song, who also dropped a comment recently. So it's more like there's no official helpline in Nigeria where people can call.
Really,
and then a little bird told me that you once dealt with mental illness.
I actually did. Who is this
depression.
little bird? I want to know who this little bird is. Anyway, yes, I actually did. For a few years ago, I was diagnosed with chronic depression, and I used to have like suicidal thoughts. Like it was really bad. And the good thing I had was I had like family and friends that I had around me that gave me the love and the attention that I needed to pull through that period. So. Look, listen, mental illness is not a white man's disease. It is actually a thing. People are actually dying every single day. People are committing suicide. I mean, I saw a video of a guy that jumped off the bridge. He was rescued, but he was beaten for trying to kill himself. And I saw a video like 2 days ago where a guy was beaten on the street for using a used condom on the street.
Yes, in Port Harcourt.
And he has a mental illness. So like we don't take this as seriously as we should. This thing is an epidemic that we need to start taking really seriously.
I mean, on the topic of mental health, and I think it's, I mean, we always talk about it on the show. And where I grew up in London, and where I come from, everyone kind of talks about it openly. It's like an open thing. But I find here there's a huge stigma around mental health. Why is that?
That is it's so bad. Yes, exactly. Because
that's
the thing. If you have mental illness, so the one thing you think about when you think of mental illness, this person is mad. Put him in a psychiatric hospital. But it's an actual and emotional and mental instability because you don't see yourself as worthy. You don't see, nothing makes sense to you. This life doesn't mean anything to you. So the best thing for you to do is just, you know what, it's better if I leave this world than live in this world.
And it's really interesting that you've actually been through it, so you know firsthand what it's like.
What it feels like, exactly, and what is needed. And
but what do you think, I mean, on that note of what you're just saying right now, what do you think is the actual issue with, you know, okay, yes, there's psychiatric homes and hospitals and that kind of thing, but why aren't there enough therapists available? Why aren't there enough affordable therapists available? Why aren't therapists something that we have in our healthcare system that we can just go to and use? And it's an epidemic issue. I once said that, I mean, I'm putting the statistic out of nowhere, but I've always said that, you know, the majority of the population here, based on what they face every day and the kind of structure we have here, most people are probably facing, you know, some sort of mental health problem. They just don't know it. Why is it that this issue isn't being addressed right from healthcare? Because
we don't have enough information about it. There isn't enough knowledge on the topic. Like you said, like people still think depression is a white man's illness. If you tell your friend, I'm depressed, you're just sad.
Bored.
Or you just need money.
Or you just, you need money, you need this to fix it. So we don't even take it seriously to start with. I mean, like the way we take malaria seriously. So there are things that are being put aside to cure malaria. We've taken AIDS seriously. So now with things being put aside to treat that sickness, mental illness is actually an actual sickness that we need to start taking seriously.
We spoke to Mo Cheddar a couple of months ago.
I saw that as well.
I mean, she obviously let us know she had been through depression herself. And, you know, that image of the brain and what the effect of somebody that's depressed and somebody that isn't. I mean, just... Like a light bulb. I mean, it just tells you...
Because definitely there are different types of mental illness. So there's depression, there's PTSD, there's schizophrenia. So there's so... Like, even... It happens to many of us. I'm actually producing a short film where about mental illness because I have a passion for this. So I co-wrote a short film on mental illness. I'm actually co-producing and also co-directing it. I'm costume designing as well. I know.
Only.
I know.
Costume design.
I want to be you when I
grow up. On the topic of costume designing, when I was reading up.
So did you do this? Sorry.
Sorry.
Did you do this?
No, actually, a friend of mine did this and sent it to me to just wear. Okay. So shout out to the person.
Okay, so since we're talking about dressing now, I can't help but talk about the frames. Who started this? You or Faust the bad guy?
I want to say me, but I'll be lying. I'm a copycat, so it's actually Faust. So
copy.
On the topic of costume designing, though, I was having like a little I was reading up about you and stuff like that. And obviously you've designed costumes for a range of celebrities in Nigeria. Toke Makinwa being one.
I did.
Very controversial. So did you style her before or after the surgery? Before or after she had got her?
Had surgery?
Oh, don't know. Oh, please. Oh, please.
High five.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Before or after? Before or after?
Good heavens.
I like how you just chipped that in there.
Before or after the surgery?
I didn't know she had surgery, but I actually started her like, I think 4 or 5 years ago. So, yeah.
Okay, before surgery.
So that must have been pre the surgery.
Yeah, before that thing that you said.
Oh my
yeah,
days.
so I've done a couple of movies. When Love Happens, Lunchtime Heroes, When Love Happens Again. So yeah, oh, you've seen that? Oh, he's done his research. Hi.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we spoke about the carnival as well, Calabar Carnival.
Yes.
How did you get on with that?
So Carnival, the first time it actually started, I was there when it started. So I was part of the people like Passion for Hair. So part of the people that actually started Calabar Carnival, and it's been amazing. Look, if you guys December go to Calabar, it's going to be lit.
You're definitely inviting us, right?
No, I mean, you guys can come.
We can.
But you have to book your hotels from today because by November they're not going to be hotels available.
Oh, wow. So we're going to put all the onus of that on you. Well, I'll definitely be there.
Please.
All right, that brings us to the end of the program, unfortunately. Join us tomorrow for another episode of Tea Time. But before we go, my thank yous, as always, go to my co-anchors, the production team, our stylist courtesy of Kudi Empire, and last but not least, Eno Jerry, our studio guest. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I am Tokumbo Taiwo, and I bid you goodbye.